Shalum. Shalom and welcome. Welcome to Endtime Reflections. My name is Symmanayah, and if you're tuning in for the first time, these are the words I'm compelled to present before an awakening nation. This is the 46th installment to Endtime Reflections. Again, I say welcome. I present the case why making the cut is something that is important to know during these last days. Making the cut will be a phenomenal and yet challenging thing to actively participate. It will be something that we will witness as end times ramp up. End times are indeed here. We are in the last days. This is the generation that will witness much. We will discover how when the scriptures are made alive, there are so many things to learn from the spirit of our teacher Yahusha, who is aware of John 14:26, which informs us that the Almighty Father sent His set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name to teach us, along with comfort us, and to bring things to remembrance. In the midst of growing uncertainties due to widespread challenges, COVID-19 continues to stir in our midst, along with civil unrest, economic instability, and more, to say the least. We will soon see those who will take part in the final exodus begin to come together. There will be those who will grow to understand the importance of making the cut. But before I continue, let me say this, O listener to these words. The messages presented do not necessarily reflect the owners, management, and or shareholders of this media platform. With that said, let us dive into the case regarding making the cut. Let's examine some scriptures. And as I stated before, my brothers and sisters, I believe that when the scriptures are made alive, we can read and get more and more and more and more, no matter how many times we read it over and over. There is so much more to receive when they are made alive. And I have stated that many of my messages follow a pattern that can be linked to one of the 7 feast days. This message is linked to the Feast of First Fruits. You might say, well, how do you get making the cut from first fruits? Do you think first fruits rise up or emerge and we just stare at them and look at them? Or are they cut? Are they utilized? Are they eaten? I will present the case how making the cut have 2 sides to it. But before I do, let me read Leviticus 23:9 and 10. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yashar'al, and you shall say to them, When you come into the land which I give you, and shall reap its harvest, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest. You see, my brothers and sisters, believe it or not, the priests knew what to do with the first fruits. They knew how to ration it out. They knew how to take care and harvest the seeds from the fruits so you can grow more. The priests were disciplined. They knew not to just radically and erratically and irrationally just eat and gobble up the first fruits and say, thanks for bringing me the first fruits. No, the priests were disciplined. They knew how to cut the fruit open and get the seed. So that seed that was planted will bring about more first fruits. Believe it or not, these words are true. Pray and seek to discern the life in what I just said, my brothers and sisters. Matthew 9, that was Leviticus 23:9 and 10. Matthew 9:37 and 38 said, Then he said to his taught ones, The harvest truly is great, but the workers are few. Pray then that the master of the harvest will send out workers to his harvest. It is the Master, the Almighty Father, in the name of Yahusha, that will send the workers into the harvest, my brothers and sisters. Harvest, a time of cutting, a time of separation, a time of identifying the obedient ones, a time for recognizing the children, the awakening nation of Yashar'al. Great, but workers are few. There will be those who will get it, quicker than others, who will respond faster than we can imagine. They will discern and obey the Spirit of the Almighty Father. Let me read Romans 8:23. Not only so, but even we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit, we ourselves also groan within ourselves, eagerly waiting for the adoption, the redemption of our body. As first fruits of the Spirit, my brothers and sisters, making the cut, being identified as those who receive and respond quickly. Revelation 14:4 informs us, there are those who are not defiled with women. They are those who were not defiled with women, for they are the maidens. There are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them on. They were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to the Almighty One and to the Lamb. This is speaking of the 144,000, my brothers and sisters. And in the 144,000 will come the great multitude, and together we will be fitly joined together in unity as directed by the Almighty Father. My brothers and sisters, you've heard me say on many occasions how the 7 major feast times present a blueprint for vetting, examining things from the one in the mirror to the rest of the house of Abba Yahuah. I want you to take a moment and allow me to read some more. Amos 8:11. See, the days are coming, declares Master Yahuah, that I shall send a hunger in the land, not a hunger for bread, nor a thirst for water, but for hearing the words of Yahuah. I say to you, my brothers and sisters, those days have come and are emerging even more. People are hungry to discern what the Almighty Father has to say, but in the midst of all the noise, it is a challenge. It makes it difficult. Sometimes because we want to hear from him on our terms, we find that our hunger continues. That hunger for his word. It has begun. John 6:35 says, and Yahusha said to him, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not get hungry at all, and he who believes in me shall not get thirsty at all. The Almighty Father, his word manifests before us in the person of Yahusha. He is the bread of life, my brothers and sisters. And I submit to you to identify his workings, to identify his spirit, to identify his presence. We must open our eyes and ears. We must pay attention. And there will be those who make the cut, those who recognize his presence working in us and through us. There will be those that make the cut, those who are set apart and ready to serve more readily than others. Matthew 24:7 says, for nation shall rise against nation and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food and deadly diseases and earthquakes in places. This has begun. These have begun, O Yashar'al. And if there are scarcities of food, what do you think happened, my brothers and sisters, when people are hungry, naturally and spiritually? They look for food. They look for what they can consume. The same with spiritually. They look to identify those who are walking in obedience to the Almighty Father. Some look more readily than others. Some are more emotional than others. Some are more desperate than others. We are in the last days, O Yashar'al. Let me continue. Matthew 26:26 says, and as they were eating, Yahusha took bread and having blessed it, broke and gave it to the taught ones and said, take, eat, this is my body. Yashar'al, or set apart Yashar'al, we are witnessing a hunger for the word as the noise get louder. The living words from Abba Yahuah will rise among the obedient. Many among us desire to receive and continue to receive living instructions and guidance from the Spirit of Yahuah sent in Yahusha's name. I submit to you, the days are here and will become more demanding for those who discern more quickly than others regarding what is to be done during these last days. End times will prove that those who get it, those who discern and obey quicker than others, will be as first fruits. They will make the cut. They will be the first to rise up. My brothers and sisters, I want you to picture people hungry, searching for food, both naturally and spiritually. Ask yourself, what happens to any individual who is hungry and they come upon fruit, grain, or any other suitable clean food? How do you think they would respond? What happens to a massive number of people who are hungry and they see fruit, grain, or any other suitable clean food? I am compelled to instruct you to trust the Almighty Father Yahuah, for just as a hungry group will race towards food and all try to consume it all at once, just as we will see this literally in these last days, we will also see individuals as they begin to recognize chosen leaders of Abba Yahuah. They will race to them. For as widespread death, massive destruction comes, as forced movement comes, when people identify the first fruits, those who make the cut, they will run and race to them, seeking answers, seeking to be with them who have been chosen by the Almighty Father to lead his children. My brothers and sisters, making the cut, it has two sides. There are those of the first fruits that will be those who make the cut first of the harvest. And there are those who are of the harvest who will join the first fruit. And they will eat the bread of life. They will eat the scriptures as they are made alive. They will be strengthened. We will be strengthened. Yashar'al will come together in unity. Making the cut is part of a sequential order, meaning step by step. There will be those who receive it and others who will wait patiently to accept what is presented. You see, my brothers and sisters, there will be order in these last days in spite of all that we are witnessing. There will be those among us who will be impatient, and there will be those led astray, tired of waiting, or moved into unbelief. You see, my brothers and sisters, while we fail at times to be as iron sharpening iron, when we see such individuals rise up, being sharpened by the Almighty Father in the name of Yahusha, when we see the power and might of the Almighty Father Yahuah working through those who have been chosen, we will run to them. We will walk to them. We will want to be close to them. We'll get hungry enough. We'll get thirsty enough for the bread of life, for the water, that unstoppable, flowing, set-apart water of the word of the Almighty Father. Consider this. If you doubt these words and you think I'm stretching it, think about Mark chapter 2, verse 4 and 5. It says, and not being able to come near him. This was when the crowd, everyone was trying to get to Yahusha. It said, because of the crowd, they uncovered the roof where he was, and when they had broken through, they let down the bed on which the paralytic were lying. And when Yahusha saw their belief, he said to the paralytic, son, your sins are forgiven. This is just a glimpse of how they crowded, trying to get to him. Can you imagine how many people outside the house, how many people could not reach Yahusha? Believe it or not, my brothers and sisters, time and space play a key role in discerning what must and will be done. During these last days, we will learn to walk and run with wisdom. We will learn to trust the Almighty Father Yahuah to give us what is necessary to do his will. My brothers and sisters, there are no doubts in my mind that we will be challenged both physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It has begun for many. It will reach our doorstep, especially as we witness those who will be among the ranks of individuals making the cut. It would be wise to embrace the life in Proverbs 4:23 through 27, which I speak of often. It speaks on being focused and establishing our footsteps. It would be wise to never forget. I'm talking about Proverbs 4:23 through 27. And it would be wise to never forget, if we seek refuge as extreme humbling times ramp up, to keep in mind what is said in Proverbs 14:26. In the fear of Yahuah is strong trust, and his children have a place of refuge. Let me also read Ephesians 5:6, my brothers and sisters. It says, let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these the wrath of the Almighty One comes upon the sons of disobedience. And in this wrath we will see the actions that will prove those that are making the cut. 1 Thessalonians 5:9-10 say, but the Almighty One did not appoint us to wrath, but to obtain deliverance through our Master Yahushua Messiah, who died for us so that we, whether awake or asleep, should live together. You see, my brothers and sisters, there are leaders, pastors, mores, teachers, deacons, many different influential individuals, and many among us who would rather say how we're not appointed to wrath, but they fail to read the verse after that. I'm in 1 Thessalonians 5:9-10, and they say, oh, we're not appointed to wrath. I ain't worried about it. They fail to realize that the 10th verse say, who died for us so that we, whether awake or asleep. That's talking about whether we are physically alive or physically dead. We should live together with him. Our spirit is with him. If you read Ecclesiastes, it says that once we die, we go to the Almighty One, and we are with him in a place of rest, wherever that rest is, until Judgment Day. So we read other scriptures that say, don't worry about this earthen vessel. It informs us that it's going to go back to the dirt. So don't think that there will be brothers and sisters who will not be in the midst of destruction, widespread death. We're in it now. It's just going to ramp up even more. We are in training stages for to be an everlasting being, experiencing everlasting life with Yahushua Mashiach. These earthen vessels are just a training ground, the training house of the Almighty Father. And we will learn and understand why flesh and blood cannot inherit the sovereignty of the kingdom of Yahuah. My brothers and sisters, many leaders try to comfort us. They avoid all too often the realities of what lies ahead, but it is time to look at end-time realities like you've never looked at it before. It's time to discuss what is unfolding. How do we discern what must be done and respond? Yashar'al, keep in mind, I believe that the fullness of the anti-Messiah will not show until we are removed from the four corners of the earth to that area that is promised to us. And I believe that area will be centered around the true Mount Sinai, which is currently known as Jabal al-Laws. Keep in mind 2 Thessalonians 2:7-8, for the secret of lawlessness is already at work, only until he who now restrains come out of the midst. And then the lawless one shall be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and bring to naught with the manifestation of his coming. My brothers and sisters, the Almighty Father Yahuah will do all that is foretold and more. In the coming days, we will witness discipline. We will witness what it means for us as it relates to making the cut. We will also understand that he reigns on the just and the unjust, the righteous and the wicked, as it is written. Are you not aware of Matthew 5:44-45? For it reads, but I say to you, love your enemies, bless those cursing you, do good to those hating you, and pray for those insulting you and persecuting you, so that you become sons of your Father in the heavens, because he makes his sun rise on the wicked and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. My brothers and sisters, love your enemies. Let me talk about that. Love your enemies is doing what's best. It's not saying be passive and let your enemies run over you. It's not saying have this unconditional love and just let them control you. Love your enemies mean be strong and demonstrate all that is set apart for their well-being. Demonstrate all that is necessary for them to recognize the desires of the Almighty Father. Do not the Almighty Father Yahuah love us? Have he not slain the wicked? Has he not disciplined his children? Let us understand the dynamics of love. It says, bless those cursing you. Are we not to tell those who cursing us the things that is what's best. Pray for them that they come to discern. So it's not saying give them all that you have. See, some people take these passages and think that when they say bless them, it means just do anything. There's a discipline among the ways of the set-apart ones. Do good to those hating you. It does not say let people abuse you. My brothers and sisters, we must discern, and we will discern the life in these passages. We will understand why those who will be among the first fruits, those making the cut, will demonstrate the balance that is required for us to walk together and be fitly joined together in these last days. Behold, the hand of Abba Yahuah is rising among us. We will discover all there is to know about making the cut and more. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Our redemption draws near. My prayer for you, yes, you, oh, listen to these words. This message found you for a reason. My prayer for you is that you are in good health, that you have a strong mind, and that you are growing to discern what the Spirit of Yahuah is saying to you, that you know that you are not alone. On that note, I say to you, yes, you, oh, listener to these words, much love to you. Be encouraged. There are intercessors who pray for you, for me, for us. There are works that are unfolding before our very eyes, and each and every one of us will come to know the realities of end times and what is expected. On that note, let us trust in the Almighty Father Yahuah and walk in wisdom with patience to He who gives us breath, life, heartbeat, a sound mind, and life everlasting, the Almighty Father Yahuah. In the name of Yahusha I come to you, my brothers and sisters, and I say to you, Shalum.